Hi friends! My name is Angie, and in this video, I'm gonna share with you all of my summer knitting plans. And I'm really excited about this. The first pattern on this list is the Lace Wave Top by Knit Diet. This is the cutest little top I've ever seen. I love all of the little intricate details. Like we have these pearly details on the straps, question mark. They're not beading and they're not like lace work, but there's something different. And I can't explain it, but it just feels so like pool party summer in a really, really good way. This top also has like a really intricate lace work in the body, which I think is a really fun detail to make your top like super unique and cool, but also really great ventilation, and I really like it a lot. The next top is far simpler but still extremely cute. It is the Top Ava by Mochi Knits. Like truly there's not a lot to say about this one because it is simply a tank top. Next we have a pattern that I already own and that I've made once already, but I am interested in making it again and potentially a few more times. It is the Espresso Top by Light Guard Knit. This is fun. It's funky, it's fresh, it's cool girl, it's chic. I love the little keyhole detail. I love that it has a button detail even though the button is fake, like spoilers, but you just sew the button on. It's not like actually doing anything. The first rendition of the Espresso Top that I've done was in a simple black yarn. Very chic, very cool, very sexy. I think this time around I want to get a little funkier. I want to do either like a striping situation, or I have like a color changing yarn that I was trying to use for something else and then it didn't work out, so like maybe I can potentially use it for this one. But either way, like I just want another version of this, and I personally want one that's like a little bit more colorful. Black is very elegant and sexy and chic and cool, but at the end of the day I am a clown, and so I want like blues and yellows and greens and reds and pinks. Oh my god, do I want some more pinks in my life. I will say, I will preface that this pattern is not the most size inclusive at the moment. I do know that this designer is like going back into their work and like revamping and updating all of their patterns. I don't know if they've made it to the Espresso Top yet, so fingers crossed Christine like gets to work and continues to update this pattern. But as someone who already owns it and who already has the yarn, I do think I'm gonna do it again. Like, you know, the money has been spent, the pattern lives on my computer, so what's a girl to do except like use their stash. The next top is the West Wrap, and I actually featured this in my spring knitting plans and I didn't get a chance to do it. And in fact, I actually think this is far more summery. I think maybe back in spring I was just like already thinking of summer, because like this is very much not a spring top. And for this top I'm also going to try and work through my stash. I have this brown yarn from Savannah Rose Handmade. This is, I believe, from one of their Twin Peaks collection. I think it's called something like The Owls Know More Than They Seem or something like that. I got this in their like Black Friday mystery sale, so like admittedly not really a color option that I tend to gravitate towards. Like I said before, I like a funkier color, but either way, I have this yarn. I need to make something out of it. I think it'll look really good. I think it'll be a fun top to wear like out, you know, if you're like going to a lake or the beach and you're chilling and you're hanging and you want to work on your back tan. This is it. The next top is probably the one that I'm the most excited for on this entire list. I saw it in passing on Instagram and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since. And I think it's like gone like kind of viral. I think like all of the cool girls are making this top this summer, and it's really exciting to be able to include myself in the cool girl community. But it is the Lemontini Top by Instagram user Blue. It is just the ultimate cool girl summer top as far as I'm concerned. I love the contrasting colors. I love that the like straps become like the back tie, and I just think overall it's a really, really cool top. And again, as part of my ongoing quest to like actually work through my stash, I have two colorway ideas for this top. The first is a bright red top using this Woolen the Gang the One Cotton yarn in Tomato Red, and I also have a huge stash of blue cotton yarn, so I was thinking red base, blue straps, and then the second version would be blue base, purple stash, using this like lilac-y gray color that I used for my last Sydney scoop. I think it's gonna look really good. I've already started the swatch for the red version. Haven't gotten very far. I did like 1.5 rows, but that's mostly because I really want to finish my poncho and I have like 15 more rows left. So I'm trying to focus my energy on the poncho. Meanwhile, I'm only thinking about the Lemontini, and that makes finishing the poncho harder because all I want to do is the Lemontini top. Next, with slightly less enthusiasm, we have the It's a Wrap top by Anne Catherine Stoll. This is a top that is generally out of my wheelhouse. It contains a lot of things that I tend to avoid in garments. It is a deep V-neck, it is backless, it is a wrap top, and it has like ties at the end. However, there is something about this top in particular that really, really speaks to me. I don't know if it's just the fact that it's bright orange. If it is just that, it's doing a really good job of capturing my interest. I think this is so cute. Next, we have the Violet Vest by Victoria Fabbender. I love the asymmetrical design of this. I think it's so neat. I think it's so cool. Apparently there are button options. I do think the button version is a touch boring, and I do also think it looks like a touch unfinished in its own way. Like there's something about the ties that like really bring the garment together, in my opinion. I think this top in particular would be a really fun like transitional piece. Like it looks really great alone, and I think it'll also look really good like layered on top of a t-shirt or a long sleeve or what have you. So this is definitely a year-round situation, and that's making me like it even more. We also have the Claudia top by The Yarn Bitch. It's just like one of those perfect summer tops in my opinion, and I'd like to get into it potentially this summer. We have the Marin Toppin by Ima Emarencia. This is really cool. This is really chic. This is really elegant. This is really structured is not the word I necessarily wanted to use, but it is the word that came out. I really love this top. And again, this is another transitional piece. You could wear it alone. I can definitely see myself layering this over a t-shirt or a long sleeve like in the colder season. I really like the cable work detail. I want to get more into cable work. I just want to like work that muscle a little bit more, and then eventually get into those like really funky like fisherman like cable sweaters eventually in the future. I think this is a good stepping stone to like build my confidence more to eventually get to that point. The next two patterns I feel similarly towards, and I'm gonna like group them together because they are cousins. They are sisters, they are besties. They are very, very similar in nature. The first is the Cloudy Busan by Egyo Knit, and the second is the Carla Tee by Vicky. Both of them are a pretty simple like rectangle-y kind of vest, and they both feature one huge cable going down the front. The main obvious difference to me between these two patterns is the like direction of the cable. I would describe one as a French braid and the other as a Dutch braid. I couldn't tell you which one is which, but I just know the cables, the braids are going in different directions. I wanted to include both of them because I think they're so similar that it would be a disservice to either designer to choose one over the other. You know, I wanted to make sure they both received some kind of attention. And I'm sure this is frustrating because like designers are trying to create something like new and innovative and unique and one of a kind, but I do think there's something beautiful of like two designers independently coming to the same idea. I feel like that speaks to like the universality of art. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I thought it was kind of cool. Next is probably the second pattern that I'm the most excited for in this entire bundle. This is a pattern that I've been looking at and thinking about for months. I just don't have the yarn for it, so I'm just gonna continue to think about it and dream about it and be haunted by it. Is the Love Loop top by Simone Berg. This is just absolutely freaking darling, and also another attempt at me getting more comfortable in cable work. This one feels like slightly more intimidating because it's not just like braids going back and forth. This one has like full-on heart cables. I don't even know how that would work. I'm sure the pattern is detailed enough to like show you how to do it, but like in my brain right now, I'm just like, whoa. I like truly don't know what to say except like I love this top. I think it's so cute. I think it's so beautiful and sweet and delicate and romantic. Next we have the Amy top by Mochi Knits. This is a really simple top and it's a little too simple for my taste, but the reason why I want to make it is because this would be an excellent work top, and I do want more worked appropriate knitwear in my life, especially because I started getting into the habit of like bringing my knitting projects to work to like work on during lunch. My coworkers are always asking me about what I'm working on, and I just like feel so bad that I can't ever show them like a finished product, because all of the tops and projects that I've been working on so far have been like super cropped, itty bitty, teeny tiny little summer tank tops. And I think the last time I brought like one of my Sydney scoops and they were like, oh my god, it's so cute, when are you gonna wear it into the office? And I was like, literally never. Like, y'all don't need to see my back like that. I'm not trying to get written up. And so the Amy top I feel like is a really nice compromise between like my personal style and what I can actually wear to work, especially if I choose like a really cutesy, like funky color. I'm considering like a chartreusey kind of vibe. I think that could be fun. I think that could be neat. And then I think that would also like make me want to wear it outside of work. Like it'll be like a universal color in the way that it's not a universal color at all. Next we have the Lazuli top by Wool Orchid Studio. I feel like keyhole tops have been coming back in a big way, especially since the rose top and the Kyoto keyhole top kind of went viral on Instagram. And I think those tops are really cool and really neat. But I really, really like the Lazuli top. One, because the keyhole is more of like an oblong shape. It's like a little deeper. It's a little bit more dramatic. And I like that instead of the keyhole like just finishing at the center like most keyhole tops do, this one is like a flap that like wraps around your neck. So you have like a little bit of a mock neck moment. And so it just like feels a little bit more dramatic. It feels a little bit edgier. And it feels very cool girl. And so I very much want to get into this. Next we have another pattern by Mia Emerencia. This is the Mia Toppin, and this is a pattern that I feel slightly conflicted over because I think it looks really cute. I think it's a moment. I think it's fun. I do, however, feel a type of way about peplum coming back. And I don't even know if this is considered peplum because I feel like the whole point of peplum is that it like flares out, and this one is more like shift dressy in nature. It's like more boxy, but there is still something very like early 2000s about this top in a really fun way, and also in a really unsure way, a way that I'm slightly concerned over. But I think the fun way is overpowering the concerning way, and I'm still really into this. So with that prairie girl, boho chic, baby doll kind of look, we're now transitioning into dresses. First we have the Teveito sundress by Teveito Design. Sorry if I'm really butchering that. I am trying my best. But I am really into this dress design. It's like fairly simple, fairly basic. This is a really great summer moment. And again, especially as a like throw on over your swimwear, you're hanging out at the lake, at the beach, at the pool all day, and I'm really into that. Like, I don't know if that's gonna be my summer, but that's what I aspire my summer to be. Like, I want to be by a body of water nearly all the time, and you know, sometimes you just gotta like dress for the moment that you want to live in to make that moment happen, and that's what we're trying to do here. Next we have a dress that I don't think is a summer dress at all. It looks really warm, it looks really fuzzy, but I love the silhouette of it that I'm like, I could make it work. Like maybe instead of mohair, you could get into like a silk blend, cotton linen blend. Like, I don't really know what's out there, but this dress is the Cecilia dress by Kukiko Inoue. I love the straps, I love the ruffles, I love the eyelet detail in each of the ruffles. I do feel like eyelets are gonna be kind of huge this summer, and I think that this is the perfect summer dress as long as you're not using mohair. Like, use literally anything but mohair. It almost feels like a disservice to make this in a mohair because like it wants to be worn in the summer so bad. You feel me? The next pattern is also technically two patterns. We have the silhouette dress and the silhouette top. They are both created by Light Guard Knit, who also did the espresso top. This top, I think, is one of the ones that they've already reworked into a larger sizing system. So that's the good news. The other good news is that these garments look really good. I'm a huge fan of having a shit ton of buttons on your like knitwear. I haven't done it myself because while I like it aesthetically, I know the practice of having to sew on each button is going to make me lose my mind. But that doesn't stop me from adding a shit ton of buttons to all of my bundles. And the next top is the Row Lace Top by Knitly Bay. This is a fairly simple design. It's kind of a baby tee and or a cap sleeve tee. I don't think I know the difference between the two, but it has that eyelet feature that I'm telling you is coming back. It's coming back in a huge way. And so I really like the idea of having like a t-shirt that's just like all eyelets. I think that's kind of sexy and chic, and or could be a little cutesy sweet if you decide to layer something under it. I personally probably wouldn't, just because, again, hate layering. Similarly, our next pattern is the Bloomlet poncho, also by Vicky. This is a poncho that I included in my poncho video a few months ago. Oh my god, I have no idea when I posted that. At the time, I didn't feel particularly strongly about this poncho. It's like a cute poncho that I thought was worth sharing, but like not something that I envisioned for myself. However, now that I feel more strongly towards like the eyelet feature, I'm really into this poncho. And I think this poncho is really, really cute. So that just goes to show how multifaceted and ever-changing we all are as humans, because this poncho meant nothing to me before, and now it's everything. And I think that's crazy, and I think that's beautiful. The next pattern we have is the Tumble Tee by Lydia Moreau. This is a fairly simple raglan tee. However, once you get into the pattern itself, it has a lot of like body shaping options. There are different options for the neckline, for the bust, for the waist. It kind of has everything you need to modify it to make it work for you. And I think that's really, really freaking neat. And the reason I know how detailed this pattern is because I already own it. I've just never made it. This is probably one of the first patterns I've ever bought, and that was like years ago when I was still like a huge newbie to knitting. And so what I assumed was a simple t-shirt ended up being way more detailed and way more intricate, and I got really overwhelmed. And so I just like never did anything with it. I think now I'm far more experienced and definitely far more confident that I do want to actually try this pattern. And for this pattern, I have the yarn that I need. So again, stash busting, doing what we can. So it's going to be a fuzzy striped pastel moment, and it's going to be beautiful. And then I won't be able to wear it until like the fall, because it'll be far too warm for like a July or August. The next tee we have is the Tutti Frutti tee by beacreativeknits. And beacreativeknits is probably one of my new favorite designers, not only for their garments, but also for their YouTube channel. Like, I find their videos so fun to watch. I think they're so creative and so cool. I love their like process as they're like making stuff, and I love how they're on this ongoing quest to have like the most colorful, funky, bright projects out there. Everything that they do is just like so funky and fresh and cool, including the Tutti Frutti tee. This is, on the surface, a fairly simple baby tee, but again, it includes a lot of modifications for like bust and waist shaping. And my personal favorite detail of this garment is the like hem. It is like this really delicate, like lacy kind of situation. Like, I don't necessarily know how to describe it, and I don't know what it's called, but I do know it looks really good. I also like that they include like the option to do like a fruit motif. I think at this point they mentioned that they have like over 11 fruits to choose from, and I think in one of their videos they said that whoever they're working with to make these pixel graphics is working on more. I personally think that I would probably omit this step if I was making this top, just because like I don't love graphic tees. That's a lie. I love graphic tees. I don't like graphic knitwear. I think I'm far more interested in like the construction of something than having to double stitch like a little like monkey. I think maybe I also just don't like the tediousness of double stitching, because like you have to finish your garment and then you have to go back and like do the whole thing. I don't care. Once I finish my garment, I just want to wear it. But that's a personal preference. And if you want to add some fruits onto your top, that's super cool and I support you. The next top is in honor of the World Cup. That shout out Shakira is the football jersey 2.0 by Like Guard Knit. I think this looks cool. I think it's really neat to take the football jersey silhouette and turn it into like a knitwear design. I know a few years ago, perhaps for the last World Cup, there was like an Instagram store that was doing just this. Like they took teams' jerseys and they turned it into a knit polo, and I really wanted one, but I don't remember if they had an Ecuadorian one, and if they did, the yellow for the Ecuadorian home jersey is so bright and grotesque that it is just like upsetting to me. Now, if they had an away jersey option, I would have gotten into it because the Ecuadorian away jersey is a lovely navy blue, but man, do they really love a highlighter yellow. Anyways, I think this top is cool. I think it's neat. I do have some hesitancies towards it though, because it says that this top is made to measure, and yet it says the pattern is based on 3 fixed neckline measurements. So depending on the neckline that you choose determines the shape of the rest of the garment. And like, how does that accommodate for like literally the human body? I'm not sure, but I am kind of intrigued enough to try and figure it out. It might be a huge waste of time, but I am intrigued enough to try and figure it out. The next pattern, we're moving back into our button moment, and we have the Valerie blouse by Petite Knit. I just really like buttons. I think this looks good. I do think it's really funky to have the cardigan cut across the chest like so. And I know this isn't the first pattern to do this. I know there's a couple of other designers who've done similar things in the past. What I like about this pattern in particular is that it's a lighter weight pattern. I feel like the other ones that I've seen with the diagonal cross have been like bulkier weight yarn, and I'm just like not interested in bulky yarn. It's just like cumbersome to me. So I like that this is a sport weight. I think it looks good. I think it's funky, and I think it's fresh. The next pattern we have is another Be Creative Knits original. This is the Zip It sweater, and I'm super into it. And again, it's like less so about the design of the actual garment, even though I think it looks really good. But for me, what really intrigues me about Be Creative Knits patterns is the construction of it, especially watching their videos of them like making the Zip It sweater or making the Tutti Frutti tee. You can really see how much thought they put into it, into making sure like the shape of it and the construction of it is like really well done. Next, we have another one of my favorite designers. We have the Heidi cardigan by Aver Paula. I think Aver Paula is just super stellar in what they do. They make really great, super accessible projects, and they have been posting about the Heidi cardigan like throughout their videos, and every single time they shared an update, I was just like, whoa, I love the construction of this. I love the fit of this. Like, when can I get my hands on it? And they finally released their pattern this spring, and I haven't done anything with it yet. But this cardigan is really cute. It's another like boxy kind of cropped moment, and I think it's just like a really great basic silhouette for like a cardigan that you can just like throw on over whatever. And I think I need that. I feel like a lot of my cardigans and a lot of my sweaters, but especially a lot of my cardigans, have a lot of like frills and details to it that they're like very particular. They have to be done and they have to be styled a very particular way. Like my only black cardigan has like bell sleeves with like slits at the wrist, which make them very dramatic. My only gray cardigan is like a simple silhouette, but it has like rosebuds down the front. So it's like very particular, very quirky, very out there. And so I'd really just like to get my hands on a cardigan that is neutral, that is basic, that is normal. You know, I can't trust myself in a store, because when I have the option between like a basic cardigan or a funky cardigan, I'm like, well, I'm gonna spend the money on the funky cardigan because I want to get my money's worth, and I can make a basic cardigan. And yet I still haven't made a basic cardigan yet. I do think that this is probably gonna fix me, and I can like punch 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't remember the phrasing of that. And I also don't particularly like it because I don't want to punch any birds. But you know what I mean. I can do 2 things at once. And the next pattern is the Micro Shorts by loupystudio. This is the short pattern of all shorts pattern. Like, full transparency, I had a number of shorts in this Ravelry bundle, and then I started reading the detail for the micro shorts, and it kind of covers every single like idea that you could have in making shorts, that it felt like a waste of time to even talk about the other shorts, and I removed all of them from the list because these shorts are customizable in every way. There are 4 sections of shaping for your hips, your butt, your front, and your legs. And customization options included in the pattern consist of hip ribbing, super micro shorts, biker shorts, loose knit trousers, button bands, rompers, skirts, and stripes. Literally anything you could want in a short, it is in here. The wildest part about this is that this pattern only cost about $5. That is like the steal of all steals. We also have 2 pairs of skirts. The first is the Ziggy Stardust skirt by Shy Girls Knit. I like that this skirt is an A-line or A-frame skirt. I don't remember the terminology, but I say that because I feel like a lot of skirts that I've seen on Ravelry are very like pencil or like straight down in nature, and like that's not gonna work for me. I need some hip waist shaping, and I think that this has that. I also like how they knit up their sample. Like, this is definitely a stash busty project as well, and I think it would be really fun to see like all of the colors that I like gravitate towards in one garment. So this seems like a really funky, fun option to go through that exercise with. And then finally, our last pattern is another Aver Paula original, and it's our only crochet pattern on this entire list. It is the Fia skirt by Aver Paula, and I am absolutely obsessed with this. I love the fit of this. I love the detailing of this. I think this will look really cute to throw on over, again, a bathing suit, little shorts, whatever kind of moment you want. This is like one of the ultimate cool girl summer skirts. I also really like how this person styled it with the like denim top and like the funky socks. I think this is really fun. I think this is a really cool way to like incorporate it into like everyday wear as opposed to like just having it as a summer skirt. I think I would like to do both options. I just don't have the yarn for it. Well, I do have some yarn. I'll get back to you. I'll have to do some digging. I'll have to do some research. But that is all I have for you today. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great day. I hope all of your projects are going well, and I'll see you in the next one.